The golden age of American muscle cars gave us legendary icons like the Mustang, Camaro, and Charger. But not every great performance machine became a household name. Some delivered incredible power, bold styling, and groundbreaking engineering, yet somehow faded into the shadows of more famous rivals. In today's countdown, we're revealing 15 forgotten muscle cars that deserve far more respect. From overlooked big block bruisers to hidden performance gems, these classics prove that history doesn't always remember the best cars. Let's start the countdown. Number 15. Oldsmobile Rally 350 1970. The Oldsmobile Rally 350 is one of the most unusual and overlooked muscle cars ever produced during the golden age of American performance. Introduced for the 1970 model year, it was Oldsmobile's attempt to attract younger buyers who wanted a stylish, affordable muscle car without paying the premium price of the legendary 442. While the formula made perfect sense on paper, the Rally 350 struggled to find its audience, and today it remains one of the rarest one-year-only muscle cars from General Motors. What made the Rally 350 impossible to ignore was its outrageous appearance. Every single car left the factory painted an eye-catching Sebring yellow, and unlike most cars of the era, even the front and rear bumpers were painted to match the body. Black racing stripes, a fiberglass hood with functional-looking scoops, sport mirrors, rally wheels, and bold decals completed the aggressive look. Whether people loved it or hated it, the Rally 350 demanded attention everywhere it went. Under the hood sat Oldsmobile's dependable rocket 350 cubic inch V8, officially rated at 310 horsepower and 390 lb-ft of torque, before horsepower ratings switched from gross to net measurements. Buyers could pair the engine with either a 4-speed manual transmission or the Turbo Hydra Matic automatic, while performance options included upgraded suspension, heavy-duty sway bars, power front disc brakes, and limited slick differential. Although it lacked the massive displacement of the 442's 455 V8, the Rally 350 delivered respectable acceleration and excellent street manners. The timing, however, couldn't have been worse. The muscle car market had reached its peak, and buyers seeking maximum performance usually gravitated toward larger engines like the Chevrolet 454, Pontiac 400 Ram Air, Buick 455 Stage 1, or Oldsmobile's own 442. As a result, many enthusiasts dismissed the Rally 350 simply because of its smaller engine, despite the fact that it offered a better balance of handling, fuel economy, and affordability. Production lasted just a single model year, making surviving examples relatively scarce today. Many were driven hard or modified over the decades, making factory-original cars particularly desirable among collectors. Modern enthusiasts have come to appreciate the Rally 350 not only for its rarity but also for its bold styling, dependable mechanicals, and unique place in Oldsmobile's performance history. Today, the Oldsmobile Rally 350 stands as proof that muscle cars didn't always need the biggest engine to leave a lasting impression. Its fearless styling, one-year production run, and growing collector appeal have earned it far more respect than it received when new. Number 14. Plymouth Duster 340 1970-1971. When people think of Plymouth muscle cars, iconic names like the Roadrunner, GTX, and Cuda usually dominate the conversation. Lost in their shadows is the Plymouth Duster 340, a lightweight compact muscle car that quietly became one of Chrysler's best performance bargains. While it lacked the prestige of its larger siblings, it delivered impressive speed, affordability, and reliability that earned it a loyal following among street racers and dragstrip enthusiasts. Introduced in 1970, the Duster was based on Chrysler's compact A-body platform, making it considerably lighter than most intermediate muscle cars. The star of the show was the high-performance 340 cubic inch LA Series V8, officially rated at 275 horsepower. Although that figure appeared modest compared to some competitors, many enthusiasts believed the engine was significantly underrated by the factory. Combined with the Duster's low curb weight, the result was outstanding acceleration that often surprised owners of much larger and more expensive muscle cars. Performance wasn't limited to the engine alone. The Duster 340 came equipped with upgraded suspension, heavy-duty brakes, performance gearing, and distinctive hood scoops that helped separate it from ordinary compact cars. Buyers could choose between a 4-speed manual or Chrysler's durable TorqueFlite automatic transmission, allowing the car to appeal to both weekend racers and everyday drivers. One of the Duster 340's biggest advantages was its affordability. During the muscle car boom, insurance premiums were climbing rapidly, especially for high-displacement vehicles. The Duster offered buyers an inexpensive way to own a genuine V8 performance car without paying the insurance costs associated with larger 440 or Hemi-powered models. This made it especially popular among younger enthusiasts. Despite its impressive capabilities, the Duster never achieved the same legendary status as Plymouth's Halo cars. Much of the company's advertising focused on the Roadrunner and Cuda, leaving the Duster relatively overlooked. As emissions regulations tightened after 1971, the high-performance 340 version disappeared, ending what many consider one of Chrysler's greatest hidden gems. Today, original Duster 3040s are becoming increasingly collectible. Their combination of lightweight design, strong small block performance, and classic Mopar styling has made them favorites among enthusiasts who appreciate underrated muscle cars. Many collectors now view the Duster 340 as one of the smartest classic muscle car purchases available. Number 13. Mercury Cyclone, spoiler, 1970. Overshadowed by the Ford Torino, almost from the moment it arrived, the Mercury Cyclone spoiler remains one of the most forgotten performance cars of the classic muscle car era. Sharing much of its engineering with Ford's successful intermediate platform, the Cyclone offered striking styling, serious V8 power, and proven racing credentials, yet it never achieved the fame it truly deserved. The 1970 Cyclone spoiler featured an aggressive aerodynamic nose, hidden headlights, bold graphics, and a sleek fastback roofline that gave it a distinctive appearance. Mercury designers wanted the car to stand apart from its Ford cousin, and they succeeded by creating one of the most stylish muscle cars of the era. Its clean lines and purposeful stance continue to attract attention at classic car shows today. Under the hood, buyers had access to several powerful engine choices, including the legendary 429 Cobra Jet and the even more desirable 429 Super Cobra Jet. These massive V8 engines delivered tremendous torque and straight-line performance, allowing the Cyclone to compete directly with heavy hitters like the Dodge Charger, Rai-T, Chevrolet Chevelle SS454, and Plymouth GTX. The Cyclone also earned genuine respect in NASCAR competition. Mercury teams achieved multiple victories during the early 1970s, proving that the car wasn't simply about appearance. Its racing success helped strengthen Mercury's performance reputation, although much of the public attention continued to focus on Ford's Torino because the two cars shared similar mechanical foundations. Sales numbers remained relatively low because Mercury dealerships represented a much smaller network than Ford's. Buyers often walked into Ford showrooms looking specifically for Torinos, leaving the Cyclone overlooked despite offering nearly identical performance with more distinctive styling. As a result, production numbers stayed comparatively low, contributing to its rarity today. Modern collectors have begun recognizing the Mercury Cyclone spoiler as one of the hidden stars of the muscle car era. Its combination of aggressive styling, NASCAR heritage, powerful Cobra Jet engines, and limited production has steadily increased its desirability among enthusiasts who appreciate forgotten American performance legends. Number 12. AMC AMX 1968-1970. During the height of the muscle car wars, American Motors Corporation was the smallest of Detroit's major automakers, competing against giants like Ford, Chevrolet, Dodge, and Pontiac. Most people expected AMC to stay out of the high-performance battle, but in 1968, the company shocked the automotive world by introducing the AMX, a compact, two-seat muscle car that proved you didn't need massive production numbers to build something truly special. Unlike nearly every other muscle car of its era, the AMX featured a unique two-seat layout, making it one of the few American performance cars designed to compete more directly with sports cars than traditional pony cars. Built on a shortened version of AMC's Javelin platform, the AMX combined a relatively light chassis with impressive V8 power, creating an outstanding power-to-weight ratio. Engine choices ranged from a 290 cubic inch V8 to the highly respected 343 V8, while the range-topping 390 cubic inch V8 produced up to 305 horsepower and more than 425 lb-ft of torque. Buyers could choose either a close ratio 4-speed manual transmission or an automatic, allowing the AMX to sprint from 0 to 60 miles per hour in roughly 6.5 seconds, remarkably quick for the late 1960s. The AMX wasn't just fast in a straight line. Thanks to its shorter wheelbase and lighter weight, it offered handling characteristics that many larger muscle cars simply couldn't match. Automotive magazines frequently praised its balanced chassis, responsive steering, and overall driving dynamics. Some reviewers even considered it one of the best-handling American performance cars available at the time. Despite its strengths, the AMX struggled against much larger manufacturers with enormous advertising budgets and nationwide dealer networks. Ford promoted the Mustang relentlessly, Chevrolet dominated headlines with the Camaro, and Dodge captured attention with the Charger and Challenger. AMC simply couldn't compete with that level of marketing exposure, causing the AMX to remain a niche performance car. Production ended after the 1970 model year as AMC shifted toward the four-seat Javelin-based AMX package. Although its original production run was relatively short, the car's uniqueness has made it increasingly desirable among collectors. Today, enthusiasts admire the AMC AMX for its bold engineering, distinctive design, excellent performance, and willingness to challenge Detroit's biggest manufacturers despite overwhelming odds. It remains one of the most deserving forgotten muscle cars ever built. Number 11. Pontiac Ventura GTO 1974. By 1974, the golden era of American muscle cars was fading fast. Rising insurance premiums, stricter emissions regulations, and the oil crisis had forced manufacturers to rethink their performance lineups. It was during this challenging period that Pontiac made one of its boldest decisions, moving the legendary GTO badge onto the compact Ventura platform. The result was the Pontiac Ventura GTO, a car that has long been misunderstood and unfairly dismissed, despite playing an important role in keeping the GTO name alive. Unlike the original GTOs of the 1960s, the Ventura GTO was built on GM's compact X-body platform. At first glance, many enthusiasts viewed it as a step backward, believing the famous GTO deserved a larger, more powerful platform. However, Pontiac engineers saw the compact size as an advantage. The lighter chassis improved agility and helped offset some of the horsepower losses caused by increasingly strict federal regulations. Power came from Pontiac's dependable 350 cubic inch V8, producing approximately 200 horsepower under the new net horsepower rating system. While those numbers looked modest compared to the fire-breathing GTOs of just a few years earlier, the Ventura GTO still delivered respectable acceleration for its era. Buyers could pair the engine with either a 4-speed manual transmission or a turbo-hydromatic automatic, allowing drivers to enjoy a genuine V8-powered performance experience even during the industry's toughest years. Styling remained unmistakably Pontiac. A distinctive twin-scoop hood, aggressive grille, GTO decals, Rally 2 wheels, and dual exhaust gave the Ventura GTO a sporty appearance that separated it from the standard Ventura. Inside, bucket seats, a center console, and optional rally gauges reinforced its performance image, creating a driver-focused cabin despite the challenging automotive climate. The Ventura GTO's biggest obstacle wasn't its performance, it was its identity. Purists compared it to the legendary 1969 and 1970 GTOs powered by massive 400 and 455 cubic inch V8s, making it nearly impossible for the smaller Ventura to earn the same respect. As a result, sales remained relatively low, and the Ventura GTO lasted only a single model year before the GTO badge disappeared entirely until its later revival decades afterward. Today, collectors have started viewing the 1974 Ventura GTO through a different lens. Rather than criticizing what it wasn't, enthusiasts appreciate what it represented. Pontiac's determination to preserve one of America's most famous performance nameplates during an era when muscle cars were rapidly disappearing. Its one-year-only production, unique styling, and historical significance have made it one of the most intriguing forgotten Pontiacs ever built. Number 10. Dodge Coronet RT 1967-1970. Few muscle cars have lived in the shadow of a more famous sibling, quite like the Dodge Coronet RT. Sharing much of its engineering with the iconic Dodge Charger, the Coronet RT offered virtually identical performance, but never received the same level of attention. While movie appearances and pop culture transformed the Charger into a global icon, the Coronet quietly established itself as one of Dodge's most capable high-performance machines. Introduced in 1967, the Coronet RT, short for Road and Track, was designed specifically for buyers who wanted serious muscle without unnecessary flash. Its clean, understated styling appealed to enthusiasts who preferred subtle performance over dramatic fastback designs. Beneath its conservative exterior, however, was a true powerhouse, capable of competing with the very best American muscle cars of the era. Standard equipment included Chrysler's legendary 440 Magnum V8, producing 375 horsepower and an incredible 480 lb-ft of torque. For buyers seeking the ultimate performance package, Dodge offered the race-bred 426 Hemi V8, officially rated at 425 horsepower. The Hemi transformed the Coronet RT into one of the quickest production cars of its time, capable of quarter-mile times that rivaled many purpose-built drag racers. Performance wasn't limited to engine choices alone. Heavy-duty suspension, upgraded brakes, performance gearing, and available 4-speed manual transmissions made the Coronet RT equally capable on winding roads and straight-line acceleration runs. Its well-balanced chassis earned praise from automotive journalists, who often noted that it delivered a more refined driving experience than many of its competitors. Unfortunately, the Coronet RT always competed with another Dodge product for attention. The Charger featured dramatic Coke bottle styling, hidden headlights, and an unmistakable fastback profile that captivated buyers. Since both cars shared many mechanical components, most enthusiasts naturally gravitated toward the more visually exciting Charger, leaving the Coronet overlooked despite offering nearly identical performance. Production numbers remained relatively modest, especially for Hemi-equipped models, making surviving examples highly sought after today. Yet even now, the Coronet RT often sells for less than an equivalent Charger, giving collectors an opportunity to own virtually the same legendary Mopar performance at a more approachable price. It's one of the best examples of a forgotten muscle car that deserves far more recognition than history has given it. Number 9. Buick GS 3040 1966-1967. When enthusiasts talk about Buick muscle cars, the conversation almost always centers around the legendary GS 455 and the ultra-rare GSX. Lost in their enormous shadow is the Buick GS 340, a lighter, more balanced performance machine that helped establish Buick's reputation long before its larger V8 stole the spotlight. Though often overlooked, the GS 340 remains one of the smartest and most enjoyable muscle cars Buick ever produced. Introduced in 1966, the GS 340 was based on the stylish Buick Skylark platform. At a time when most manufacturers believed bigger engines automatically meant better performance, Buick pursued a different philosophy. Instead of relying solely on massive displacement, the company paired its high-output 340 cubic inch V8 with a relatively lightweight intermediate body, producing a car that excelled through balance rather than brute force. The 340 V8 generated approximately 260 horsepower and an impressive 365 lb-ft of torque, giving the GS 340 strong acceleration and excellent low-end pulling power. Buyers could choose between a 4-speed manual transmission for maximum driver involvement or Buick's smooth super turbine automatic for effortless cruising. While it couldn't match the raw power of later 455-powered Buicks, the lighter front end improved steering response and overall handling, making the GS 340 surprisingly agile. The GS package included numerous performance upgrades beyond the engine: heavy-duty suspension, upgraded cooling systems, dual exhaust, sport wheels, and distinctive GS badging transformed the Skylark into a genuine muscle car. Buick also maintained its reputation for comfort by offering high-quality interiors with plush seating, premium materials, and excellent ride quality, creating a unique blend of luxury and performance that few competitors could match. Despite these strengths, the GS 340 struggled for recognition. Chevrolet dominated headlines with the Chevelle SS, Pontiac had the GTO, Oldsmobile promoted the 442, and Dodge showcased the Charger. Buick's image as a luxury-oriented manufacturer often prevented younger performance buyers from considering its muscle cars, even though the GS 340 could compete with many of them on the road. Today, the Buick GS 340 is finally receiving the appreciation it deserves. Collectors value its rarity, elegant styling, dependable small-block V8, and excellent driving dynamics. It represents a fascinating period when Buick proved that a muscle car didn't need the biggest engine in Detroit to deliver an exciting driving experience. For enthusiasts seeking an underrated classic that's both enjoyable to drive and historically significant, the GS 3040 remains one of the best-kept secrets of the muscle car era. Number 8. AMC Rebel Machine, 1970. When American Motors Corporation introduced the Rebel Machine in 1970, it wasn't simply trying to build another muscle car, it was making a bold statement. At a time when giants like Ford, Chevrolet, Dodge, and Plymouth dominated the performance market, AMC wanted to prove that a smaller automaker could produce a car capable of competing with the very best Detroit had to offer. The result was one of the wildest, rarest, and most underrated muscle cars ever built. The Rebel Machine was impossible to overlook. Early production models wore a patriotic red, white, and blue paint scheme inspired by AMC's promotional campaign, making them instantly recognizable on the street. Buyers who preferred something less flashy could later order the car in more conventional colors, but the machine decals, functional hood scoop, blacked-out grille, and aggressive stance ensured it still stood out from the crowd. Its styling perfectly reflected the rebellious spirit that AMC wanted the car to represent. Power came from AMC's largest performance engine, a 390 cubic inch V8 producing an impressive 340 horsepower and 430 lb-ft of torque. The engine featured a high-compression design, performance camshaft, large 4-barrel carburetor, and free-flowing dual exhaust system. Buyers could choose either a close ratio 4-speed manual transmission for maximum performance or an automatic transmission for easier daily driving. With plenty of torque available across the rev range, the Rebel machine delivered thrilling acceleration that could rival many better-known muscle cars of the era. AMC didn't stop with engine upgrades. The Rebel machine also received heavy-duty suspension, upgraded shocks, front disc brakes, reinforced cooling, a limited slick differential, and wide Goodyear polyglass tires. These improvements helped the car put its power to the pavement while maintaining impressive stability and handling. Contemporary automotive magazines praised the Rebel machine for its straight-line performance and competitive quarter-mile times, proving that AMC was far more than an underdog. Despite its impressive credentials, the Rebel machine faced an uphill battle. AMC's dealer network was much smaller than those of the big three manufacturers, and its marketing budget simply couldn't match companies like Ford or General Motors. Many buyers overlooked the Rebel machine entirely, choosing more familiar names such as the Chevelle SS, Roadrunner, or Charger. As a result, production remained limited, making surviving examples exceptionally rare today. Modern collectors have completely re-evaluated the Rebel machine. Its combination of low production numbers, bold styling, authentic muscle car performance, and AMC's unique place in automotive history has turned it into one of the most desirable forgotten muscle cars ever produced. What was once overlooked has become a prized collector's item that perfectly captures the fearless attitude of the original muscle car era. Number 7. Pontiac Le Mans Sport Coupe 1970-1972. Few classic Pontiacs have been overshadowed as completely as the Le Mans Sport Coupe. Sharing much of its engineering, styling, and mechanical components with the legendary GTO, the Le Mans Sport often went unnoticed simply because it didn't carry Pontiac's most famous performance badge. Yet beneath its understated image was a capable, stylish, and surprisingly powerful muscle car that deserves far more recognition than it typically receives. The Le Mans Sport Coupe was introduced as a sportier version of Pontiac's mid-size Le Mans lineup. Visually, it borrowed many of the design elements that made the GTO so attractive, including an aggressive front grille, sculpted body lines, optional hood scoops, Rally 2 wheels, and sporty striping packages. To the casual observer, the two cars looked remarkably similar, giving buyers much of the GTO's visual appeal at a significantly lower price. Performance was equally impressive. Buyers could choose from several V8 engines, including Pontiac's respected 350 and 400 cubic inch power plants. Properly equipped models featured 4-speed manual transmissions, heavy-duty suspension, dual exhaust, and performance axle ratios that transformed the Le Mans Sport into a genuinely entertaining driver's car. While the GTO often received the highest output engine options, the Le Mans Sport still delivered the strong torque and unmistakable V8 rumble that defined Pontiac performance. One of the Le Mans Sport's biggest advantages was affordability. During the early 1970s, insurance companies began charging significantly higher premiums for officially designated muscle cars like the GTO. Because the Le Mans Sport wasn't marketed as Pontiac's flagship performance model, buyers could often enjoy nearly identical driving characteristics while paying considerably less for both the car and its insurance. This practical advantage made it especially attractive to younger enthusiasts. Unfortunately, Pontiac's own marketing worked against the Le Mans Sport. Nearly all promotional efforts focused on the GTO, leaving the Le Mans largely forgotten despite its many strengths. As emissions regulations tightened and the muscle car era began to decline, attention shifted away from cars like the Le Mans Sport, allowing it to fade into automotive history. Today, collectors have begun appreciating the Le Mans Sport Coupe for exactly what it is, a hidden gem that offers classic Pontiac styling, authentic V8 performance, and significantly lower prices than comparable GTOs. For enthusiasts seeking an affordable entry into classic Pontiac ownership, the Le Mans Sport remains one of the smartest choices on the collector market. Number 6. Mercury Marauder X100 1969-2070. The Mercury Marauder X100 proved that muscle cars didn't have to be compact or mid-size to deliver exciting performance. At a time when most manufacturers focused on lighter performance models, Mercury chose a different approach by combining full-size luxury with powerful V8 engines. The result was a sophisticated highway cruiser capable of surprising far smaller muscle cars, yet today it remains one of the most forgotten performance vehicles of its era. Built on Mercury's full-size platform, the Marauder X100 featured elegant styling with a long hood, sweeping roofline, and distinctive hidden headlights that gave it an upscale appearance. Chrome accents, Premium trim and exclusive badging reinforced its luxury image, while its sleek fastback-inspired profile hinted that there was far more beneath the surface than a typical family coupe. The biggest attraction was under the hood. Buyers could equip the Marauder X100 with Ford's legendary 429 Cobra Jet V8, one of the most respected big block engines of the muscle car era. Officially rated at around 370 horsepower and delivering massive torque, the 429 gave the large Mercury surprisingly strong acceleration and effortless high-speed cruising. Despite its substantial size, the car could comfortably keep pace with many traditional muscle cars, particularly on long stretches of open highway. Mercury also focused heavily on comfort. Plush bench or bucket seats, premium upholstery, wood grain trim, air conditioning, power accessories, and smooth suspension tuning made the Marauder X100 an outstanding grand touring machine. It appealed to buyers who wanted both performance and refinement without sacrificing one for the other. Its greatest disadvantage was public perception. Enthusiasts often associated muscle cars with lighter intermediates like the Chevelle SS, Roadrunner, or Torino Cobra. Because the Marauder was a full-size luxury coupe, many overlooked its impressive mechanical capabilities. Mercury's smaller dealer network and limited advertising budget also prevented the car from getting widespread recognition. Today, the Marauder X100 has become a fascinating collector's car. Its combination of elegant styling, big block power, luxurious interior, and relatively low production numbers makes it an increasingly desirable classic. For enthusiasts who appreciate something different from the usual muscle car formula, the Mercury Marauder X100 stands as one of America's most overlooked high-performance grand touring machines. Number 5. Chevrolet Laguna S3, 1974 and 1976. By the mid-1970s, many enthusiasts believed the American muscle car era was over. New emissions regulations, soaring insurance costs, and the aftermath of the 1973 oil crisis had dramatically reduced horsepower across the industry. Yet Chevrolet refused to abandon performance altogether, introducing the Laguna S3 as a stylish mid-size coupe that quietly carried the muscle car torch during one of the industry's most difficult periods. Although it never achieved the legendary status of the Chevelle SS, the Laguna S3 deserves far more recognition than it typically receives. The Laguna S3 stood apart from other Chevrolet models thanks to its distinctive aerodynamic front end. Instead of using a traditional chrome bumper, Chevrolet fitted the car with a body-colored urethane nose that improved airflow and gave it a modern appearance. Combined with its sleek roofline, wide grille, rally wheels, sport mirrors, and bold striping packages, the Laguna S3 looked far more sophisticated than many of its competitors. Its design was so effective that it became a favorite in NASCAR, where aerodynamics played an increasingly important role. Under the hood, buyers could choose from several V8 engines, with the most powerful being the legendary 454 cubic inch big block V8. Although emissions regulations had reduced horsepower compared to the muscle cars of the late 1960s, the massive displacement still delivered tremendous low-end torque and effortless acceleration. Buyers could pair the engine with a heavy-duty automatic transmission, making the Laguna S3 a comfortable yet capable highway performer. Handling also improved significantly compared to earlier Chevrolet intermediates. The Laguna S3 featured upgraded suspension components, front and rear stabilizer bars, radial-tuned suspension, power front disc brakes, and improved steering geometry. These enhancements made it more composed through corners while maintaining the comfortable ride expected from a mid-size Chevrolet. One of the Laguna S3's greatest accomplishments came on the racetrack. Throughout the mid-1970s, Chevrolet drivers enjoyed tremendous success in NASCAR using the Laguna body style. Legendary drivers proved that the car's aerodynamic design provided a competitive advantage, helping Chevrolet dominate stock car racing during several seasons. Ironically, while race fans watched the Laguna win on Sundays, relatively few buyers appreciated the road-going version sitting in Chevrolet showrooms. Today, collectors have begun rediscovering the Laguna S3. Its combination of NASCAR heritage, unique styling, big block engine availability, and relatively low production numbers has made it an increasingly desirable classic. While it may have arrived after the muscle car era's peak, the Laguna S3 remains one of Chevrolet's most underrated performance cars. Number 4. Ford Torino Cobra, 1969-1971. The Ford Mustang may have become Ford's most famous performance car, but during the late 1960s, another blue oval machine quietly delivered even greater muscle. The Ford Torino Cobra combined massive V8 power, aggressive styling, and proven racing success into one impressive package. Despite its remarkable capabilities, it has often been overshadowed by the Mustang, making it one of Ford's most forgotten muscle car legends. Introduced in 1969 as Ford's answer to the growing mid-size muscle car market, the Torino Cobra was built on the larger Fairlane platform. Its long hood, fastback roofline, blacked-out grille, hood pins, and Cobra badging gave it an intimidating appearance that immediately signaled serious performance. Unlike the smaller Mustang, the Torino Cobra emphasized brute strength, offering buyers some of Ford's most powerful engines. Standard power came from the legendary 428 Cobra Jet V8, officially rated at 335 horsepower, though most enthusiasts agree that true output was considerably higher. In 1970, Ford raised the stakes by offering the fearsome 429 Super Cobra Jet, an engine designed to dominate both drag strips and NASCAR circuits. Massive torque, rapid acceleration, and effortless highway passing made the Torino Cobra one of the quickest production cars Ford had ever built. The Torino Cobra also excelled in motorsports. Built specifically with NASCAR competition in mind, its aerodynamic body and powerful engines helped Ford achieve numerous victories on America's biggest racetracks. Legendary drivers piloted Torino Cobras to championship-winning performances, further cementing the car's reputation among racing enthusiasts. Despite these achievements, the Torino Cobra faced a difficult challenge within Ford's own lineup. The Mustang's enormous popularity attracted most performance buyers, while the Torino's larger dimensions made it less appealing to younger customers seeking pony cars. As a result, the Cobra never achieved the same cultural recognition despite offering superior power and exceptional performance. Today, the Torino Cobra has become a highly respected collector's car. Enthusiasts appreciate its muscular styling, legendary Cobra jet engines, NASCAR heritage, and relative rarity. It represents one of the finest examples of Ford's engineering during the golden age of American muscle and deserves far more attention than history has given it. Number 3. Ford Ranchero GT 1970-1971. Few vehicles have blended practicality and raw performance as successfully as the Ford Ranchero GT. At first glance, many people dismissed it as simply a pickup truck with sporty styling. In reality, the Ranchero GT was a genuine muscle car disguised as a utility vehicle, offering powerful engines, aggressive looks, and surprising performance while maintaining the ability to haul cargo. Its unique identity is exactly why it remains one of the most overlooked performance vehicles of the muscle car era. Based on the Ford Torino platform, the Ranchero GT shared much of its mechanical engineering with Ford's high-performance intermediates. This meant buyers could enjoy true muscle car hardware beneath the truck bed. Distinctive features such as hood scoops, GT stripes, sport mirrors, rally wheels, and bold front-end styling made the Ranchero GT look every bit as aggressive as its coupe counterparts. Engine options ranged from respectable small-block V8s all the way to the legendary 429 Cobra Jet. Equipped with the big block engine, the Ranchero GT became an astonishingly quick machine capable of accelerating alongside many dedicated muscle cars. Massive torque made towing and hauling effortless, while also delivering thrilling straight-line performance whenever the driver pressed the accelerator. Unlike traditional muscle cars, the Ranchero GT offered genuine practicality. Owners could transport motorcycles, construction materials, camping equipment, or racing tires during the week and still enjoy high-performance driving on weekends. This versatility made it appealing to buyers who wanted one vehicle capable of doing almost everything. Unfortunately, that same versatility also worked against its reputation. Many enthusiasts viewed the Ranchero primarily as a utility vehicle rather than a true performance machine. Meanwhile, pickup truck buyers often prioritized work capability over horsepower, leaving the Ranchero GT caught between two markets. As a result, sales never reached the levels Ford had hoped for. Today, collectors appreciate exactly what made the Ranchero GT unique. Its combination of Cobra jet performance, Torino engineering, limited production, and everyday usefulness has transformed it into one of Ford's most distinctive collector vehicles. It's proof that muscle cars didn't always have to fit traditional definitions to earn their place in automotive history. Number 2. Plymouth GTX 1967-1971. Often referred to as the gentleman's muscle car, the Plymouth GTX perfectly combined luxury and performance at a time when most muscle cars focused almost exclusively on speed. Introduced in 1967, the GTX offered premium interiors, advanced features, and some of Chrysler's most powerful V8 engines. Despite its impressive credentials, it was consistently overshadowed by its less expensive sibling, the Plymouth Roadrunner. From the outside, the GTX projected confidence rather than flamboyance. Its clean body lines, distinctive grille, Functional hood scoops, chrome accents, and tasteful badging created an upscale appearance that appealed to buyers seeking refinement alongside performance. Inside, bucket seats, premium upholstery, wood grain trim, center consoles, and optional air conditioning gave the GTX a level of comfort rarely found in muscle cars of the period. Performance was equally impressive. Standard equipment included Chrysler's mighty 440 Super Commando V8, producing 375 horsepower and an astonishing 480 lb-ft of torque. Buyers wanting the ultimate performance machine could select the legendary 426 Hemi V8, officially rated at 425 horsepower. These engines transformed the GTX into one of the fastest American production cars of its era, capable of blistering quarter-mile times and effortless highway cruising. The GTX also benefited from heavy-duty suspension, upgraded cooling systems, power brakes, and optional 4-speed manual transmissions. Unlike many competitors that sacrifice comfort for speed, the GTX maintained a smooth ride and refined driving experience while still delivering outstanding performance. Its biggest challenge came from within Plymouth's own showroom. Introduced in 1968, the Roadrunner offered nearly identical mechanical components at a significantly lower price. Buyers interested primarily in performance naturally gravitated toward the more affordable option, leaving the GTX to attract a much smaller audience despite offering greater luxury and refinement. Today, the Plymouth GTX has earned tremendous respect among collectors. Limited production numbers, premium features, legendary engine options, and timeless styling have made it one of Mopar's most desirable classics. For many enthusiasts, the GTX represents the perfect balance between comfort and uncompromising muscle car performance. Number 1. Buick GSX 1970 to 1972. Among true muscle car enthusiasts, the Buick GSX is regarded as one of the greatest high-performance machines ever produced by General Motors. Yet outside dedicated collector circles, it remains surprisingly overlooked compared to icons like the Mustang Boss 429, Chevrolet Chevelle SS 454, Dodge Charger Rai-T or Pontiac GTO. Considering its extraordinary performance, limited production, and unmistakable styling, the GSX deserves far more mainstream recognition. Introduced in 1970 as Buick's ultimate performance flagship, the GSX was based on the already capable Grand Sport 455. Every GSX featured dramatic graphics, front and rear spoilers, hood-mounted tachometer, black grille, performance wheels, and either Saturn yellow or Apollo white paint, making it one of the most visually striking muscle cars ever built. The heart of the GSX was Buick's legendary 455 cubic-inch Stage 1 V8. Officially rated at 360 horsepower, its true strength was torque. Producing an incredible 510 lb-ft of torque, the GSX generated more torque than almost every other American production car of its time, including many competitors with higher advertised horsepower. This immense pulling power allowed the GSX to deliver breathtaking acceleration from virtually any speed, making it one of the quickest street cars available in 1970. Performance upgrades extended beyond the engine. Heavy-duty suspension, upgraded shocks, front stabilizer bars, wide tires, quick ratio steering, and performance axle ratios gave the GSX excellent road manners while maintaining Buick's famous ride comfort. Unlike many muscle cars that felt rough and uncompromising, the GSX offered remarkable refinement without sacrificing speed. Despite these achievements, Buick's reputation as a luxury brand prevented many younger buyers from considering the GSX. Chevrolet had the Chevelle SS, Pontiac had the GTO, Dodge had the Charger, and Ford had the Mustang. Buick simply lacked the youthful performance image enjoyed by its competitors, resulting in relatively low production numbers. Fewer than 700 GSXs were built for the 1970 model year, making original examples exceptionally rare today. Modern collectors now recognize the Buick GSX as one of the finest American muscle cars ever created. Its massive torque, distinctive appearance, outstanding engineering, and limited production have elevated it into the upper tier of collectible classics. Although it spent decades living in the shadows of more famous rivals, the GSX has finally earned the respect it always deserved, standing today as one of the greatest forgotten muscle cars in American automotive history.